We'll proceed in summation and integral calculus. Okay, summation and integral calculus, daunting discussion that we are proceeding. Summation and integral calculus. What we have done, we are in a kind of a war kind of situation where we are calculating in a single dimension. Whatever the problem we are talking, that is the minimum complex problem. If we see probability statistics and dividing the problem into n different parts and solving part by part, this is the minimum in a way that this is the single dimension we are talking now. Okay, it can be more than that. What it can be more than that? More than that can be what we have done. Okay, if I talk about the marks again, again, then in a class there are n number of students are there, and I have to calculate the average marks secured by the student. There are n number of students. I'm entering into a school. There is a school, and I'm entering into the school. Then I'm entering into a class, and then I'm seeing n number of students are sitting out there. I'm asking the teacher that if there was any examination happened. Yes, recently one examination happened, and that examination was, the marks was between 0 and 10. This is what example I have been giving, between 0 and 10. Then I'm trying to calculate the average marks of the class. Okay, then I ask student by student how many marks you secure, and then I added all the marks and divided by n. That is one way. Second way is I draw a graph, and in that graph I have x-axis. In that graph I have x-axis, and this x-axis belongs to marks. This x-axis belongs to marks. If x-axis belongs to marks, then against each mark, 0 mark, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks, 10 marks, I have number of students against each mark. Against 0 mark, how many students are there? Against 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks, how many students are there? Against 10 mark, how many students are there? This is the student axis, and this is marks axis. Now I am proceeding now. Now 0 into number of students plus 1 into number of students plus 2 into number of students plus 3 into number of students plus 4 into number of students plus 10 into number of students. Now, rather than asking student by student, now I have a chart where against each marks how many students are there. Against each marks multiply with the number of students and then add all together. It will also give the total marks. This is another way of calculating the total marks. Okay, total marks, if I divide the total marks by n, that is the number of students, it gives the average mark. This is the second way. What is third way? Third way, at 0 marks, how many students are there? 4 students are there. Then rather than I draw a bar chart, there is a bar. Oh, there is a bar. I believe a histogram it is called. There is a vertical bar, and on top of bar I am writing 4. 4 students are there at 0 mark. Rather than writing it 4, I am writing there 4 by n. The probability of getting 0 mark is 4 by n. Makes sense? Earlier the bar was 4, means 4. This is the number of students, and this is marks. If against each marks I have a vertical bar, on top of the bar I am writing what is the height. Earlier it was 4. Now I am writing 4 by n. If at 1 mark, if 20 students are there, on the vertical bar I am writing 20 by n, because number of students are n. Now against each height I am mentioning, if against 10 marks, if 30 students are there, on top of it I am writing 30 by n. Now this is marks axis, and this is probability axis. Okay, this is marks axis and this is probability axis. If that is the case, now I am going to do same thing what I did earlier. 0 marks into the probability plus 1 mark into the probability plus 2 marks into the probability plus 3 marks into the probability plus 10 marks into the probability. Just add it. You get the average mark. What is probability? Probability is also called weight. If it is consider n is 100, there are 100 students in the class. The weight of 10 marks is 30 by 100, that is 3 by 10. Out of all the weight, if I multiply 5 marks with the probability, then it is called what is the weightage. Or if I multiply 5 marks with number of students, then it is called what is the weightage of this mark. Every marks has a weightage. 0 marks has a weightage, 1 marks has a weightage, 2 marks it has weightage. Okay, a mark which has maximum student, it has maximum weightage. Now rather than multiplying with the student count, I am multiplying with the probability. That gives exact weightage. You add all the weightage, you get the average mark. Okay, understood. What is two dimension? Understood. What is two dimension? Okay, there can be two dimensions. But tell me, what is two dimensional? Okay, we will tell two dimension. This is country. This is country. What about this? This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Then this is z-axis. Makes sense? This is x-axis and this is y-axis. It is like this. Y-axis and this vertical is z-axis. On horizontal plane, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. This is xy plane. This is xy plane, and this is x-axis, y-axis, and this is z-axis. This is origin. This is origin. Okay. Now, if I say I talked about number of students, like okay, let's talk about number of people in the world. How many people live in the world? Consider there are n number of people live in the world. Okay, against a country, against a particular country, how many people are living? How many countries are there? There are 254 countries in the world. 254. Now this x-axis is is 1 to 254. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 254 countries are there. Makes sense? Now, against each country, what is the population or probability? Also, I can also write probability. Country number one, I can start with the A. What is the A country? Algeria, I think so. Algeria. Algeria is a country. So I can start with the Algeria. So Algeria, what is the population percentage? If n is the number of people living in the world, then alpha number of people living in Algeria, then this height bar chart at the Algeria will be alpha by n. Like that start. The biggest bar chart will come from India. That is the largest populated country and largest I would say among the largest, the kind of poor country also. Anyway, if population rises and you don't have the area does not increase, population increasing day by day, then what will increase? Poverty will increase, unemployment will increase. What will fake politician will increase. Politician who gives fake assurance to the people, they will grow, because reality is going down. If reality is going down, then fake thing will go up. 100% sure. If reality is population should be less, work should be more, wealth should be more, food should be more, rather than everything is going down and population is rising. Then along with population, there are two things rising in India. One thing, poverty is rising. Poverty, unemployment, these things are rising. Prices, the price are rising. It is becoming inflation condition is coming. This is the one area where it is rising along with the population. Other is that fake politicians are rising. Because how some politicians means they gives you assurance that I'll give you job, I'll give you gold, I'll give you this. There won't be any scarcity of the food grains in your house, and like that. When it is not possible at all, when population is growing, people are also not serious about their country. If people are politicians are not growing the population, right? People are growing the population. Means people are not serious about their society, their state, their country. Then what kind of politician they will get? They will get that kind of politician only who will give only false assurance. Okay, if realistic policy politician comes into the picture, he will die in 1 second. How anyone can serve the highest population that in the world, that is India? Not possible at all. I believe 50, 60 years back, it was 5 times less than this. That was 30 crore was the population of India in 1947. 30 crore. When Babur came to India from Central Asia, Babur in 1526, Babur came to India. At that time, India population was maximum 6 crore. That's it. 6 crore was the population of India in 1526. By 1947, population of India was 30 crore. India was like bloated. India was on a verge of blast in 1947 only. There were too many people living in 1947 only in India, that was 30 crore. It was on a verge of blasting in 1947 itself. Now think, now 150 crore people are living, 5 times more than that. Now which kind of politician will come up front? That will be fake politicians only will come up. If people they do not have any focus on their country strength, then what politician will have focus on their country strength? Anyway, now we are talking about two dimensional. If I talk about two dimensional, you showed one dimension, that is classroom, marks versus each marks probability. Thank you very much. What is two dimensional? Show me. Okay, we will show two dimensional. Okay. Now, against each country, country number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 254. Against each country, there is a there is a population probability. If it comes to India, I, then the bar is maximum. The height of the bar is maximum. Okay. If India population is beta, then this bar height will be beta by n number of people live in the world. Like that, someone waking. At the end, I will believe it will come as United States of America. It is really at the end only. If you see the time zone, then I believe time zone. I believe, or if you see the way Earth moves, then Japan is the country that not Japan, Australia, New Zealand. New Zealand is the country that comes in the front, or Japan, when it is time. If we see the time, then after some time India comes, then England comes. At the end, America, America comes. America considered as the last country where sun shines, and after that it becomes night. And then in the morning, then people in the New Zealand and Japan, they see the sun, the fresh sun in the morning. So USA is anyway at the end only. USA, Canada, Mexico, this kind of country. In the list also United States, you will come around the end only. Anyway, so this I have country list, and against each country I have the population percentage. Okay, what is multidimensional then? Okay, this is another axis. This is country axis. This is language axis. So what is your language axis? Language axis against each language. Each language. This is y axis. I'm just rotating it. Against each language, there are many languages in India. If there are 254 countries are there in the world, I believe there will be more than 20,000 languages in the world. If I take the coarse languages, not the some dialect or something like that, coarse language, still it would be 10 times to the number of countries. In India, if I talk about the coarse languages, it would be more than 100, guaranteed. No, in Bihar only, there are more than 5 or 6 coarse languages which have history and they are differently identified. Like that, in every state there are many coarse languages. In Uttar Pradesh, only 5, 6, 10 languages are there. Okay, if I go to Madhya Pradesh, same thing. Jharkhand, same thing. So these, I believe these states primarily Uttar Pradesh, even Uttarakhand, I believe in Jammu and Kashmir there are many languages. Dogra, Dogri, there are many languages in Jammu and Kashmir also. Dogri and so Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh. These are the states where there are many languages. Otherwise, primarily every state has one language. Kerala has Malayalam, and then Assam has Assami, Manipur has Manipur, West Bengal has Bengali. Everywhere it is Bengali, but in Bihar, everywhere there is no Hindi. There are different languages. Anyway, so if I talk about world, there would be at least. So I can say there are 2,000 languages in the world. 2,000 languages. Okay. Now this is language access. If this is language access, we will start with the language. Consider language is Angika. I believe Angika would come as a Angika language that is found in Bhagalpur area of Bihar, Ang province. It used to be very developed province till some time back. One Ang province, very developed people and very rich people, Ang people. Anyway, but that is not the very highly scientific, very high class engineering in every area, textile to every area. Anga was considered as the frontmost region in engineering area, any area. But probably that is not the condition right now, unfortunately. King Karna was of king of Anga region earlier in Mahabharata time. Anyway, now I can start with the Angika as a language, and then it will go. Then with E, it will be English, I believe so, and then it will proceed with the language. I believe at the end it will come as Sanskrit as a language. Anyway, against each language, I have population percentage of the people talk in that language. Okay, so if I take those percentages against each language, I have a vertical bar. If I rotate in this fashion, now this is language. Now, against this language, I have a kind of vertical bar. That is the population probability against Angika. How many? If alpha number of people they talk in Angika, then alpha by n is the vertical bar. Okay, like that. In Sanskrit, if beta people talks in Sanskrit, then beta by n is number of population, number of people around the world. Now these are the bar. Now I have two variables. One variable is the country variable. One variable is the language variable. Against country, I have probability of the people. If I add all the probability, it will become one. Against the language, I have probability of the people from Angika to Sanskrit. Okay, if I or Jew language that start with no Zoroastrian language, I don't know, that is Iranian language. That will be end, I believe, Z. Anyway, if I talk about this percentage of people, if I add all, it will again become one. Then what is your multi-dimensional? Okay, people are n. That is the one. They are distributed over country and they are distributed over language. Then if I take the xy plane, if I take xy plane, I can have point like x comma y. X is country and y is language. I have many points x comma y. Okay. Now, if I take India, if I take India, then one strip will go like this for India, and then I take a language called Punjabi. Punjabi is very famous language in India. I believe if I take the songs, then Punjabi songs are in parallel to the Hindi song. Punjabi songs are being enjoyed by everywhere in India, from Jammu Kashmir to Kerala to Maldives to Sri Lanka to Bangladesh to up to till Manipur. I believe Tibet and those places also. Punjabi songs are very famous in India, very famous. People understand it or they do not understand it does not matter at all. But in marriage and everywhere you will see only Punjabi songs. Okay, without Punjabi song, no occasion is fulfilled. Anyway, That is Punjabi. Anyway, now this is India strip. This is India strip, and this is Punjabi language, world class, world famous. Now, if I match these two strips, then one rectangular region comes into the picture. At this rectangular region, if I draw a bar, population bar, what it will be? Can I call it fxy? If if this is x axis, and if I draw a bar here, and then can I call it function over x or gx? I believe that will be a better word. Oh, sorry, fx. Let's take function over x. If x falls in India, then what is the percentage of the India as a population out of n people? That is function over x. If I take language wise, if I come to Punjabi, then what is the population that talks in Punjabi, independent of country? Punjabi is the mother tongue of Pakistan. Pakistan is a country which claims that its language is Urdu. Completely false. 50% of the people in Pakistan they talk in Punjabi. Among the Punjabi, that is the Punjab region of Pakistan, very few people they know Hindi or Urdu. Otherwise, people talk in Punjabi only. These are Punjabi people. Okay, I don't know about Sindh or Balochistan or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, but I'm pretty sure that in Punjab region of Pakistan, I believe 5% or 6% people they only know Urdu or Hindi or whatsoever. 95% of people they know only Punjabi. They talk in Punjabi only. Okay, so Punjabi is a language that is famous in Jammu Kashmir. Also, a big region of Jammu Kashmir people they talk in Punjabi only. It is considered that Jammu Kashmir has high influence of the Punjab. Okay, that's why Jammu Kashmir is considered as that's why Punjab means Pakistan. Pakistan means Punjab. That's why they try to occupy Jammu and Kashmir from the Gilgit Baltistan side, claiming it is part of Punjab. Anyway, now we have Punjabi as a language and independent of any country. Now, what is the consider this is fy function over y. This is function over x. Against function over y, what is the percentage of people that talk in Punjabi? What is the percentage of people they are Indian? Out of n number of people, how many people belongs to India? And out of all languages in the world, how many, what is the percentage or probability of people that talk in Punjabi? Now take this XY plane. If I take this XY plane, I'll come from India as a strip and Punjabi as a strip. At this point, if I draw a vertical bar, that will be called fxy, function over xy. Now tell me what would be the probability of that bar? That is again by n only. Hop. How many mesh I'll get? If I say this is one axis, this is one axis. Here 2000 languages are there. Here 254 countries are there. If I see the number of rectangle, it forms a mesh. It will form a mesh, right? There are so many strips are like this, 254 strips. And there are so many horizontal strips are like this, that is 2000 number. There will be 2000 into 254 strips will be there. Okay, there will be 2000, there will be 2000 into 254 strips will be there. That one. Now against each strip, I'm talking about now the kind of intersection between India and Punjabi language. Now, if I draw a vertical bar, how much it will be? If India is alpha by n, the population of India is alpha, and then population of the world is n, it will be alpha by n. Now, if I talk about number of people who talk Punjabi and that is beta, then it will be the probability of the Punjabi is beta by n, but both places n is there because number of people are constant in the world. Means one people I'm seeing through different verticals now. One is country vertical, one is Punjabi language vertical. Now Punjabi language, the what will be the bar height? That is beta by n. What is the bar height? What is fx when x is India? It is alpha by n. What is fy when y is Punjabi? then it is beta by n. Okay, what about fxy? It will neither be alpha by n nor will beta by n. It will be intersection of India and Punjabi. So Punjabi language, people who talk in Punjabi and they are Indian also, that will fall in fxy. Okay, that will be something I call gamma by n, but still it will be n only because people are n only. Now I have a mesh of rectangle that is of dimension is 2000 into 254. If I draw a vertical bar against each mesh fxy, I have function fxy. What is fxy? Fxy means if I draw a vertical bar against each x comma y, and if I connect all the point of the top, then it will give a surface. This is called 3D surface. That is fxy. Okay, if I add all the vertical bars, if I add all the vertical bar, it will become n again. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It will become 1 again. The number of people are n only, and each vertical bar will represent their probability or percentage out of n only. Okay, if I add all bar, it will become 1 only. This is called discrete distribution. How can there be three dimensions? You're talking about three dimensions, right? Three dimensions means uh, we have one axis, we have another axis, and third axis is probability axis. Probability bar will be there against each x comma y. And there may be four dimensions. What four dimensions? There can be 1000 dimensions. What is 1000 dimensions? Okay, this is country, and this is language, and this is the probability we are talking about. Consider this is third axis. Then where is probability? Consider probability lies in density. This is called four dimension density. All three axes are different. What is third axis? Consider by height. What is the height of the people? Okay, people can start with the I believe 5 feet height, 5 feet height, and it can go up to I believe up to 6 feet height. I'm not talking about people are who are 6.5 or 7. They are exceptional people. But in the human population height, generally it starts with 5 feet and it goes till 6 feet height. I'm in exactly in between. Anyway, so 5 feet and not exactly in between, little bit more than in between, little bit. Anyway, now now 5 feet and 6 feet. Now this is the axis, third axis, z axis. It talks about I have that third axis. Okay, I don't have third axis. I thought I have third axis. Okay, this is third axis. Why to feel shame? This is third axis. This is third axis. Now I have x, y, and z. I have x, y, and z. This is of the height now. Height of the people. This is 5 to 10. There I can make demarcation with the, if I take the inches, then 100 cut I can make. 5.01, 5.02, 5.03, like up to 6. Now I have fxyz function over x, y, z. Okay, if I take any point in this vicinity, if I take any point x comma y comma z, then that point will be density function. What is density? That at that point can correspond to a country like India, and that point can correspond to a language like Punjabi, and that point correspond to a height that is 5.6, 5 feet 6 inches. Now tell me how many people are there. Certainly the probability will decrease, but whatever number of people I am seeing, that by n is the probability. Now how many cross section or cubical section we have now? If I divided the height into 100 parts, then it is 100 into 254 into 2000 languages worldwide. Then it is that many small cubical part will make. Each cubical part will have different density, and that density, consider that there is a variable called gamma. Gamma, say gamma is the is the number of gamma is the quantity a number of people who are Indian Punjabi and height is 5 feet 6 inches. India average height is 5 feet 6 inches. This is the average height of, I am little bit more than average height. So average height of India is 5 feet 6 inches. Now in that fashion, if I see it, then it is like a density, every x comma y comma z, an Indian, a Punjabi and height 5 feet 6 inches. If I talk about Indian, then number of people will be very high. Then if I talk about Indian and Punjabi, people will decrease. If I talk Indian Punjabi and height 5 feet 6 inches, then even number will decrease because now I have to adjust this number with 254 into 2000 into 100 cubes. But if I add all the cube, it will become 1. 1. Okay, these are the called probability, but probability can be in two shape. If I take dual dimension only, don't complex it with the height of the people. But it can go even 5 dimension. We talked about four dimension, 5 dimension also. Now take about the color of the people. Of the people. Intellectuality of the people is exactly same around the globe. Exactly same. Okay, but someone would say someone is more intelligent. It depends upon many factors. But people who are born, children who are born around the globe, they have same shining, same beauty, and same brain, same intelligence. All kids they are born, they are exactly same. But after that, it depends upon many factors. Your family, family, family matters. Family environment matters. Your education in the school matters. Your social environment matters. Your country environment matters. There are many things matter that matters in the growth of the brain. But everyone is born with the equal brain, equal intelligence, equal IQ, and equal charming and everything equal. Okay, there is no difference out there. But there is difference in color, certainly. So that is by born people get different color. That is for sure. So someone can make fourth variable axis is the color of the people. There can be n variables, but all will fall in n number of people around the globe. These are the distribution that we can make. Now there can be two different distribution. One is called discrete distribution that we are talking now. This is called discrete distribution. If I take three dimension only, this is the country, this is the country, and this is the country, and this is the population, this is the language, and this is the country. Then every country and population intersection, I have a vertical bar. These vertical bar are fxy. If I add fxy, summation I equal to 1 to n, summation j equal to 1 to m, 1 to n, n is number of country. Summation j equal to 1 to m, m is number of language. fxy, fxy, xy belongs to ith jth section. If I do like so, it will become 1. Okay, if I connect, what is fxy? Fxy is a function we talk about. If I connect all the vertical bar, it will give a surface. Okay, that surface. But surface has to be sampled only at x equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 254. And only it has to be sampled at a point y equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 2000. This sampling x and y must be an integer number where x is 0 to 254. I'm sorry, 1 to 254 and y is 1 to 2000. What do you mean? I cannot take fxy where x is 2.5 and y is 300.50, 300.54. Fraction will not work. Means it is not continuous. Function is there. I found the function fxy, but this is a discrete function. It is not the continuous function. What is continuous? That is another function called gxy. That is okay, but I want to find the gxy. Gxy means it should be continuous. What is meaning of continuous gxy? What is meaning of discrete bar, that is fxy? Fxy means summation of I equal to 1 to n, where n is number of countries. Summation j equal to 1 to m, where m is number of language. f bracket xi comma yj, j are subscript. If I add for all, it will give 1. What is gxy? Gxy is a continuous surface. Fxy is also continuous surface. It is not, it is continuous surface. But you cannot take any sampling in x and y at any point you want. You have to take in the integer manner only. Means it is a forcefully made continuous function, but there can be a continuous function. What is the what is the fundamental of the continuous function? Consider there is a gxy. No, fxy I can say gxy. No, there is a property of the continuous function. Continuous means the surface is continuous. I can take sampling at any x, any y. Y is 20.35, x is 2.67, like that. Okay, if I take continuous function, then what is continuous function? Then integration over x and y. X, y has an integration region, right? If this is x and this is y, there is an integration region where x goes from 1 to 254, y goes from 1 to 2000. This is called integration region on xy plane. Integration limit sign integration region over xy plane. Okay, xy plane, and then gxy dxy plane. Let's talk in xy plane. integration limit integration limit over the xy plane. Okay, full xy plane where it is covering, and then gxy where x and y can be anything, any decimal or anything, fraction also, xy. Then function over xy is gxy, that is continuous function. dxy plane. dxy plane means continuous function, whatever it is. Gxy means it is the vertical. Vertical into xy will give the full volume. You are trying to calculate volume. Yeah, this is what the integration is. Volume. Okay, means limit in the xy plane and then gxy dxy. What you will get if you do this integration? It will give you 1. Okay, discrete will, if you add all the vertical bars in discrete manner, it will give you 1. But if you calculate if you have a continuous function, if you calculate volume underneath it, if this is xy plane and there is a continuous function like this, and if you calculate volume underneath it, it will give you 1. 1 is vertical bar addition is 1. 1 is volume underneath is 1. That's the difference. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. What is fxy dx? Tell me. What is fxy dx? What is fxy dy? Okay. I can break it since x-axis and y-axis, they are perpendicular to each other. I can break it. X is, or country, x is 1 to 254. Y is 1 to 2000. gxy dx dy. What about fxy gxy dx? Tell me what it is. gxy dy. Tell me what it is. I know gxy dx dy is the net probability, addition of all probability, and it is 1. Okay, tell me what is the population of India? Tell me. I don't know. Okay, tell me what is population of Punjabi speaking in India? That I can tell you. Okay, what is that? Tell me. Punjabi speaking people in India. Consider India. India spans from X that is 9 to 10. In the 9 to 10, India is there. Between 9 to 10, India is there. And Punjabi is between 30 and 31 in this number. Now, integration x 9 to 10 and Punjabi 30, y 30 to 31. gxy dxy. Gxy function dx dy. If you calculate that volume, it will give you Punjabi Indian. Whereas in discrete manner, just go to x that is 9 at 9 and go to y that is 30 and 10. There you will get a vertical bar. Just give me the height of that vertical. One is height and one is volume. That is the difference. Anyway, what is the third thing here? Third thing here is called vector. Where from vector came into the picture? Yes, vector also comes into the picture. Consider this is origin and I have a surface like this. I'm talking about any point here called fxy or gxy. If we draw a straight line from here, from origin to that, gxy or hx or fxy, that is called that point. That what is that point? That is x comma y comma z. That point is x comma y comma z or x comma y comma fxy or x comma y comma gxy. One is in discrete and one is in continuous. If you connect from the origin that point, that will come as a vector. Vector has any importance or something? Vector has importance. Okay, where vector has importance? So we will take this example probably in the another session. Hope, gone. There was a, okay, we will do like this one. Consider there is a circle. I am trying to calculate the circumference of the circle. In that manner, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. This is circumference of the circle. Now we are talking about summation and integral. I can divide this circle, this circumference into n equal parts. This part, this part, this part, this part, n equal parts. Then each part I calculate the circumference and I add it. This is one way. Another way is this is x-axis. Okay, if I chop the circumference into n equal parts, then they will have intersection on x-axis. They will have intersection on y-axis. Intersection means if this is the ith part, consider I am doing n part of the circumference. This is the ith part. If this is the ith part, then it will have intersection on x-axis and it will have intersection on y-axis. If I take the first part, then it has in all parts are not same. Length is not same. If I consider this is if this is the ith section, then this is delta xi. If this is ith section, then this is delta yi. For all I, this delta xi and all delta xi are not same. They are different. Okay, can I chop x-axis into n different parts, not circumference? Can I chop x-axis into n different parts, equal parts? Not. Now I take any ith section. All the section on x-axis are of same length. That is delta x. Whereas if I map this delta x on circumference, then all the cut will not be of same length. There are two things here. One thing dividing, if I want to know the circumference length, I can divide circumference into n parts and calculate each part length and add it. It also gives the length of the circumference. Or x-axis, I chop it into n different parts. Each part I calculate the length of the circumference belonging to this section and then add it. That way also we can calculate. But they are not same. If I chop into n different part on x-axis, all parts are of equal length. If I map any part on the circumference, then all these mapped part will not be of equal length. Or vice versa. If I chop in equal length of the circumference, if I map it on x part, then all part will not be the same. Generally, people chop the circumference into n different parts and they try to find the length. What is the length of any ith section? Then if I take intersection on x-axis and if I take intersection on y-axis, it forms a triangle here. Then the length of the ith section, that is, looks like curve. If this length is very small, it can be taken as a straight line. Then it is delta x square, delta y square, square root. That will be length of this section. Okay, what about if I take any, if I cut x-axis into n different parts, and if I take any ith part, then what will be the length of this curve mapped to the x-axis? I'm not chopping y-axis at all. If I chop this curve, then I have mapped section on x-axis, I have mapped section on y-axis. If I chop only x-axis, then if I take ith section, I'm not doing anything with the y-axis, then ith axis will go up and it will map a section here in the perimeter. What is length of this perimeter? What is length of this arc? If I know, then it belongs to the ith section. I have chopped into n part. If I calculate, then I'll get half of the perimeter. I can double it. Here, is it possible? Not possible with the normal way. Because if I see with the change in x, here x is, if I say ith section, then this is entry point of the ith section, and this is exit point of the ith section. Here y is different, here y is different. With change in x, I can see change in the y. dy by dx will give, if there is a change in x is this much, then how much change in y I can see, but that is not giving me the circumference. What I can do, then we have to use vector, because vector represent x and y both. If I take any point p here and this is origin, there will be a line called vector, and this vector belongs to 2 points. One is origin 0 comma 0, another is x comma y. This vector is, it represents x and y both, because if I talk about the circumference, it has intersection on x axis and y axis both, means it is taking load of x and y both, it is taking the weight of x and y both. We want a measurement unit which talks about both. If I take x, then it talks about x axis one. If I take y, then it talks about y axis one. dy by dx talks about change in y with the change in x. No one talks about x and y together. That vector talks about x and y together. Okay, you mean that with the use of vector you can calculate the perimeter length when I have variable only on the x-axis? Certain. I believe idea was to finish it today itself, but I believe it will take another session. That we will do, dividing the problem into n different parts and solving it part by part and assembling it through vector. I mean, these are not there in any of the book. Anyone can try. Please don't mind supporting us. +91 is the India country code. 9483160610 is the telephone number. 9483160610 is the telephone number. +91 is the India country code. Please support us. It matters.